सबसे पहले हजरत मुफक्किर इस्लाम शहजादाए गौसे आजम डॉक्टर पीर सैयद अब्दुल कादिर जिलानी शाह साहब की वीडियोस को हासिल करने के लिए जिलानी मीडिया के यूट्यूब चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकन क्लिक करें। वीडियोस अच्छी लगे तो थम्स अप दें।
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि वस्सलातु वस्सलामु अला नबिय्यिहि मुहम्मदिन व आलिहि व अस्हाबिहि अजमाइन। अम्मा बाद फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। इन्नमा युरीदुल्लाहु लियुज़हिबा अन्कुमुर रिज्सा अहलल बैति व युतहिरकुम तत्हीरा। सुब्हानल्लाह माशाअल्लाह। सदक़ल्लाहु मौलानल अज़ीम व बल्लगना रसूलुहुन नबियुल करीम व नहनु अला ज़ालिका मिनश शाहिदीन वश्शाकिरीन वल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन। सलातु वस्सलामु अलैका या सय्यदी या रसूलल्लाह व अला आलिका व अस्हाबिका या हबीबी। सलातु वस्सलामु अलैका या सय्यदी या अस्सलातु वस्सलामु अलैका या रसूलल्लाह व अला आलिका व अस्हाबिका या हबीबल्लाह। Their eminences, the prominent Muslim scholars and mystics and other gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I have already spoken of Hazrat Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman. But that statement was introductory just to initiate the point. Now I would like to expand my subject according to my own knowledge. Hazrat Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman is multi-dimensional person and he can be approached from different sides. One side is he is a member of the family of the Prophet. MashaAllah, Subhanallah. And the other point concerning with the same point, that he is from the lineage of Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who has got a permanent root of education, communication, mysticism and intuitive knowledge. Subhanallah. Nabi Kareem alayhi salatu wasalam was reported to have said, Ana Madinatul ilmi wa aliyum babuha. Subhanallah, Subhanallah. I am city of the knowledge and Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu is main gate to approach that city. Which means that neither branch of Islamic knowledge can be communicated to any person without the intervention of Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala. Whosoever tries to approach Islam, he cannot eliminate Hazrat Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala. All of aspects found in Islam are directly or indirectly concerned with Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala. For instance, there is a main subject in Islam, mysticism. Three sources are directly connected with Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala: Qadri, Chishti, Sorbardi. And only Naqshbandi system is isolated from Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala. But unfortunately, this sentence is not acceptable because Hazrat Qasim was not even born when Hazrat Salman Farsi radiallahu anhu passed away. Because he passed away in 33 AH after Hijrah. And Hazrat Muhammad bin Abi Bakr, who was father of Hazrat Qasim, he was only 3 months and few days at the time of death of the Holy Prophet. Which means that at the time of death of Hazrat Salman Farsi, Hazrat Muhammad bin Abi Bakr was only 23 years old. More likely, he must not have been married at that time. So when his marriage is not possible in the normal rate, how can Qasim was born at that time? And in addition to that, I have a book which is called Fawaid Usmaniya. it has expressly written that Hazrat Imam Jafar Sadiq radiallahu anhu was the direct disciple of his father, who was distributor of the piety. All of the pious people, all of the holy people, awliya Allah, were promoted by means of Hazrat Imam Jafar Sadiq radiallahu anhu. And I can refer to a book which is very reliable, that is called that is called Tafsir-e-Mazhari, written by Hazrat Qazi Sanullah Panipati. Qazi Sanullah Panipati rahmatullah alayhi is a competent caliph of Hazrat Mirza Mazhar-e-Jan Jana, who has got a direct connection with a few ancestries to Hazrat Imam Rabbani Majid al-Fsani Shaykh Ahmad Sarandi. He writes here in volume number 2, he says that the communication of the piety is totally impossible to be received by any person in the universe without the intervention of Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu. And I would be very happy if somebody likes to check the references. And I see that all of my speech is being recorded. It cannot be hidden. Everybody can check it. It will go to the enemy as well, to the friends as well. Therefore, I would have to be very careful to say anything which is not on the record cannot be said. Huh? I know nothing about the sound system. I just know how to speak. The speech is my duty. Arrangement of the sound is not my duty. Here, the verse of Surah Al-Imran, verse number 110. Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas. Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas. When the prepositional phrase is concerned with ukhrijat, then annas would be connected with ukhrijat. And nas is used for the total humanity. No one can be excluded from the application of annas. It means that the previous humanity should also receive the intuitive knowledge Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Otherwise, this verse cannot be applied on the annas. Here, Qazi Sanullah Panipati rahmatullah alayhi is very extensive scholar. He is a great prominent scholar and a great mystic as well. Kultu, he says here, Rijalu hazihil ummati aksru irshadum aqwa ta'asiran. The people of this community are more blissful and very comprehensive, very extensive to communicate the intuitive knowledge, the mysticism, the spirituality. Bil jazb ilallah, and they are very influential to attract the people towards Allah. Here says, Minar Rijal al-Umam as-Sabiqa. They are comparatively more attractive than the previous people who have passed in the previous Ummah. He says, Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala was the central point, the central source for the total spirituality and intuitive knowledge, which is called marifat. The marifat can be interpreted as intuitive knowledge. Ma balaga akhadum min al-umam as-sabiqati darajat al-awliya illa bitawassut ruh Ali alayhi salam. No one was granted the spirituality in the previous communities without the intervention of Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Means Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu was the person to distribute the intuitive knowledge and the blessing of Allah in the name of Walayat. All of the wali was promoted and was granted the faz, blessing. Faz can be interpreted as blessing. All of the blessings of Allah with the name of piety were communicated by Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu to the previous Ummah as well. Asif bin Barkhia was a great person, but according to this statement, Asif bin Barkhia could not achieve the lifting of the throne of Bilqis without the blessing and without the intervention of Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu. This is not my book. This is book of Qazi Sanaullah Panipati. Or Qazi Sanaullah Panipati was not a common person. He was contemporary to Bu Ali Qalandar. Do you understand me what I say? Do you find any type of difficulty to understand me? I can facilitate my language. Though I am not accustomed to mix with the native speakers, I have got nothing to do with the English language. But Alhamdulillah, I am fully confident that I can express myself. Are you happy with my language? Yes. Do you understand what I say? Yes. Okay. Here, Qazi Sanaullah Panipati says, Summa kana bizalikal mansabe al aimmatul kiramu abna'uhu ila al-Hasan al-Askariye. Then, from the lineage of Hazrat Ali radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu, his offspring, his descendants were promoted on this seat. They were granted this seat. Means the distribution of piety and distribution of intuitive knowledge and distribution of the blessing of marifat, mysticism were handed over to the descendant of Hazrat Ali radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu, who are known as Imam Aimma al-Bayt. Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman is one of them. Therefore, this is the background of Hazrat Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman. Here he says, Abdul Qadir Jilani, and then the same status was achieved by Hazrat Syed Abdul Qadir Jilani, Al-Baghdadi, Al-Hasani, Wal-Hussain. And he is Naqshbandi, he is not Qadri. He is contemporary of Bu Ali Qalandar. Bu Ali Qalandar was with great mustaches. He was not cutting the mustaches. He said, oh, Bu Ali Qalandar, do you know the jurisdiction of the Holy Prophet? Even one cannot grow the hair without the previous permission of the Holy Prophet. At this size of mustaches was not allowed by the Holy Prophet. Therefore, you will have to cut it down, to trim it. He said, you are not a common person. You have got intuitive knowledge. You must check the status of my mustaches. When he meditated, he saw his mustaches were on the throne of Allah. He said, it is fact that you are highly promoted person, highly placed person. I have got a great respect for you. But you must check the pair of Caesar of Muhammad Mustafa alayhi salam. When Hazrat Bu Ali Qalandar rahmatullah meditated upon the pair of Caesar that was also lying there nearby the mustaches, he said, these are your mustaches. The pair of Caesar is of Muhammad Mustafa alayhi salatu. Therefore, it has got priority to your mustaches. Then he trimmed the mustaches of Bu Ali Qalandar. When he came back home, he saw his two sons were dead there. But he thanked to his Lord that I tried my best to comply with the conditions prescribed by Muhammad Mustafa alayhi salatu. I am happy. I am not sorrowful about the death of my sons. This is the person. This is with a spiritual person, a spiritual person with great status. He says that one after another, the descendant of Hazrat Ali radhiyallahu anhu were promoted to distribute the piety and intuitive knowledge in the total ummah. Understand the status of this lineage, this family? He says that then Syed Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullah was promoted to this status. وَهُوَ عَلَى ذَلِكَ الْمَنْصَبِ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. He says that all of the others came in power and then their power was dissolved were handed over to somebody else. But the power of Hazrat Ghawsus Saqalain will remain with him up to the resurrection day, up to the judgment day. It means that the total spirituality of the universe revolves around this family, the lineage of Sayyidah Fatima. And Hazrat Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman is the last point of that lineage. Understand? And it says, Hazrat Syed Abdul Qadir Jilani Rahmatullah said, Afalat shumusul awwaleen wa shamsuna abadan alal ufuqil ula la taghrubu. The sons of the previous spiritualities came down. They set in, but my son will never set in, will always shine up to the judgment day. This is the lineage of Hazrat Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman. It means that the appearance of Hazrat Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman is not a new thing, but the total lineage from top to bottom, from A to Z, is completely shining and illuminating the society. And Imam Abu Hanifa is pupil of Hazrat Imam Muhammad Jafar Sadiq. And Imam Malik Rahmatullah Alayh is also pupil of Hazrat Imam Muhammad Baqir as well, and Imam Jafar Sadiq as well. And Hazrat Imam Shafi is directly pupil of Hazrat Imam Kazim, Musa Kazim. And Hazrat Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, with the two ancestries, he is also descendant, not descendant, but disciple and a pupil of that very family. It means that all of the education revolving in the society was started by Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu and his family. Wherever you go, you will find Hanafi, Maliki, Hanbali, Shafi, all of the people who are righteous and orthodox. Orthodox means Sayyul Aqidah. All of the orthodox would be concerning with these four schools, which were initiated and founded by the family of the Prophet and forefathers of Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman. And in addition to that, Nabi Kareem was reported to have said, Inni tarikun fiikumus saqalain. So this was not a gossip. This is the precept of the Holy Prophet. It has got a very far-reaching meanings, very significant. Nabi Kareem wants to make the society understand that I am Prophet of Allah. But the intuitive knowledge which would spread in the society and would be received by the believers, these are the sources of that knowledge. As the Quran is providing the proper guidance, my family will also provide you with the proper guidance. If you try to eliminate the Holy Quran from the society, you will be misled, you will be deviated, you will go astray. You will never achieve the destination. Similarly, my family will also go along with the Holy Quran. Holy Quran and my family are inextricably woven together. They will go together. It means that the total ummah was warned by the Holy Prophet that if you want to receive my blessing, my guidance, you will have to concern with the Holy Quran and with my family. This was a verification, just like a person is promoted as a captain, as second lieutenant, as a cadet. The paper are sent to his village just for verification. What is the background of this person? What is the background of the family of this person? So all of the relevant resources are checked just to certify the person whether this person is eligible to be promoted as a captain. Nabi Kareem verified his own family that you should not be suspicious about anything. I am very fine. I am approving that. Lam yatafarraqa hatta yirda alayya al-hawd. And Nabi Kareem ﷺ said, when you want to receive certain blessing from a person, you will have to love him. Here, Tirmidhi Sharif says, Nabi Kareem ﷺ akhadha bi yad al-Hasan wa bi yad al-Husayn. Nabi Kareem ﷺ caught hold of the hand of Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain, and then said, Man ahabbani wa ahabba hazaini wa ahabba abahuma wa ummahuma kana ma'iya fi darajati yawm al-qiyamah aw kama qala alayhi salam. This is Tirmidhi. And the lineage of the report, Hazrat Imam Zainul Abidin reports this tradition from Imam Hussain, and Imam Hussain reports from Hazrat Ali radiyallahu anhu. Hazrat Ali reports from the Holy Prophet. According to the reliable sources of Imam Bukhari, it was written in Tadrib al-Rawi, Sharh Taqrib al-Nawawi by Hazrat Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti, died 911. He is revivalist of the 10th century. Understand? He says that the topmost elevated and the most superior authority of lineage is a tradition which was reported by Hazrat Imam Zainul Abidin, and then it was reported from Hazrat Imam Hussain, and then was reported by Hazrat Ali radiyallahu anhu, and then Nabi Kareem was reported to have said something. So this is the best lineage according to Imam Bukhari. It was written in Tadrib al-Rawi, Sharh Taqrib al-Nawawi, that whatever was reported by Hazrat Imam Zainul Abidin, by virtue of these authorities, that would be preferred to every authority, because this is the supreme authority. Because the fundamental member of the family of the Prophet are reporting something. What was reported? Man ahabbani, whosoever loves me, wa ahabba hazaini, and loves these two persons. He was catching the hands of Muhammad Mustafa alayhi salam, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain, and was saying, Man ahabba hazaini, man ahabbani wa ahabba hazaini, whosoever loves me and loves these two persons, wa abahuma, and their father, and ummahuma, and their mother, what will happen? Yakuno ma'iya fi darajati. Not only the paradise would be granted to him, but he would be in the status of myself. Wherever I live in paradise, he will also live there. Because al-maru ma man ahab, whosoever loves anybody.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Faidan Mufakkir Islam. Kalimat Mufakkir Islam. Subhanallah. Subhanallah.
Here, any other condition was imposed? That he would be very punctual about the prayer. He should be very strictly abiding by the observation of the fast. He must have performed the pilgrimage. He must have paid the charity of zakat regularly. Without any other condition, Nabi Kareem was reported to have said, whosoever loves these persons would accompany me in the paradise in the same section where I lived in. One can be surprised that I am not ready to believe it, because all of the conditions about the practice are necessary to be practiced by a person. But when I ask you, when Nabi Kareem said about Hazrat Usman, Ma darra Usman ma amila ba'd al-yawm. Now, Usman Ghani radiyallahu ta'ala anhu devoted so much wealth, so much resources, so much power, and so many animals that I became overjoyed, and I announce, whatever he does, he can do, but nothing can tell upon his health. He is paradisiacal, means paradisiacal jannati. He is paradisiacal, and no practice is conditioned. No practice is necessary. For instance, when Nabi Kareem ﷺ was facing towards Baitul Maqdis Sharif, and all of a sudden, فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ, O my holy prophet, change the direction of your face towards Baitul Haram, means towards Makkah. And only 10 persons turned their faces after Muhammad Mustafa ﷺ, and they did not consider anything else. At the same time, then and there, the glad tidings of paradise were given to them. Was any condition of practice? Any virtue? Payment of charity of zakat? Doing the prayer? Performing the pilgrimage? Abiding by the observation of the fast? Nothing at all. It means that this is normal rate, that one should do the prayer, one should abide by the observation of the fast, one should go to perform the pilgrimage. This is a normal rate. But when special care is working, Nabi Kareem ﷺ is empowered to grant the paradise without any condition. So without any condition, 10 persons were granted the paradise. What is this virtue? Their face was on this side. They just changed the direction. Just turning the face. If you go to a market and you try to sell, changing of the direction, what is the value? No value. But when Nabi Kareem ﷺ evaluated it, so it is very valuable. Just changing the direction of their faces involves the granting of paradise. Under the same rule, the person who loves these persons would be granted the paradise. It means that this is one of the worshipping of Allah. This is one of the devotion and one of the liturgical activity which lifts over all of the other conditions. Here. Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman is to be discussed. Why no one else was appointed by the Holy Prophet for this service? This is a considerable matter. When there were more than 100,000 companions of the Holy Prophet, no other offspring of any person was appointed for this service. It means that this is one of the rings of that chain where Hazrat Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman is connected. Nabi Kareem ﷺ said, Al-Mahdiyo minna alil bayt. So this is a contradiction of the Kharijite as well, who believe that the person who was present at the time of address, they are only Ahl Bayt. But the other people who are coming afterwards, they are not included in the family of the Holy Prophet. We can say that only those persons who were present at the time of Kutiba alaykum as-siyamu kama kutiba alal ladzina min qablikum, the fast, the observation of the fast is necessary for only those people who were present at the time of this obligation. But when it was obliged, only those persons would be dutiful to perform, to observe the fast. But the person coming afterwards are not dutiful to observe the fast. Is there any person in the world to believe like that? It means that when an order is imposed on the condition, that condition is a ratio decidendi. It is a great difficulty that the people learn English but just street language. Ratio decidendi, which is called dalalatun nas. Dalalatun nas is interpreted as ratio decidendi. Means when the reason of order is found out, all of the orders will revolve around that reason. Wherever the reason comes back, the order will come back. Means وَيُطَاهِرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا was imposed on Ahl al-Bayt. They had some names. O Ali, O Hassan, O Hussein, O Fatima. Their names were not mentioned. Their category was mentioned. It means that when the category of the family of the Prophet, the home of the Prophet will come back, the same order will come back. And Nabi Kareem ﷺ expressly explained that Al-Mahdiyo minna Ahlil Bayt. Here, this is Sunan Abi Dawud with me. And here Imam Mehdi radiyallahu anhu was discussed here. As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Sayyidi ya Rasulullah wa alayka wa-ashabika ya Habib.
wa ala alika wa sahabika ya Habiballah.
Basically, this topic by and by came to discuss because there was a conference in Birmingham and Mirza Qadiani tried to assume the form of a prophet by following this route. He told that he was Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman, then he was changed into Isa, then he was changed into a prophet. So, first of all, we were duty bound to discuss Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman. Nabi Kareem ﷺ said, Nabi Kareem ﷺ was reported to have said, لَوْ لَمْ يَبْقَى مِنَ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا يَوْمٌ لَطَوَّلَ اللَّهُ ذَلِكَ الْيَوْمِ حَتَّى يَبْعَثَ فِيهِ رَجُلٌ مِنِّي أَوْ مِنْ آلِ بَيْتِي يُوَاطِئُ اسْمُهُ اسْمِي وَاسْمُ أَبِيهِ اسْمَ أَبِي. Nabi Kareem ﷺ was reported to have said that if there is no time except one day, but the one day will have to comply with the conditions I am expressing at the moment. Allah Rabbul Izzat will enlarge the same day, and the same day would be changed into many years. It means that the quotation of the Holy Prophet has to be accommodated even if the ayat-e kauniyah, the total system of the universe is changed. But this quotation of Holy Prophet is not going to be falsified. Nabi Kareem says, if there is only one day, Allah Rabbul Izzat will enlarge that day to accommodate my Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman. But Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman is not just a nominal person who can be identified just by name. No. Min Ali Baiti. First of all, he should be a member of my family. Mirza Qadiani, you are a Mughal person. You are not a member of the family of the Holy Prophet. How can you be called to be a member of the family of the Prophet? Again, Yuwatyu ismuhu ismi, and his name would be after my name. Wa ismu abihi isma abi, and his father's name would be after my father's name. And his mother's name would be after my mother's name. So, the Abbasids, the Hashmiites, the Aqili, the Jafri, they can also claim that we are also the family of the Prophet. But here, Nabi Kareem ﷺ tried to make us understand that here only the family of Tathir can be signified, can be denoted. No one else can be included in this chapter. Because Nabi Kareem ﷺ said, Al-Mahdiyo min itrati min wulde Fatima. This is the book, Bazlul Majhood, which says that itrat is always used for the offspring, not for the other relatives. The persons who are born to someone, they are called his itrat. Yeah. This book. This book was Bazlul Majhood, was written by Khalil Ahmad Saranpuri, Mazahir al-Ulum, the principal of or vice chancellor of the University of Deobandi people in Saranpur. He writes here. I have marked out all of the references, and the references are underlined. But the time is too short. Therefore, I try to accommodate all of my material as much as I can at the moment. Here, Nabi Kareem ﷺ was reported to have said, Al-Mahdiyo min itrati min bulde Fatima. Imam Mehdi would be from my offspring. And especially, there are 3 other daughters as well. But no other issue from any daughter of the Holy Prophet was found in the world. The lineage of Muhammad Mustafa ﷺ is going on. only by means of Sayyida Fatima. The offspring of Sayyida Zainab, Sayyida Ruqayya, Sayyida Kulsum was not found in the world. Only, authenticated matter. Authenticated. I can take the responsibility of this quotation. I have underlined many and hundreds of references on this very topic. So, Hazrat Sayyida Fatima is a source of Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman. And Imam Hasan Askari had a son with the name of Muhammad, but that can be falsified because he was not son of Abdullah. According to the statement of the Holy Prophet, his father's name should be Abdullah and his mother's name was not Amina. So these two identification falsifies that claim that person is not Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman, which is attributed as a son to Hazrat Imam Hasan Askari, because Nabi Kareem Sallallahu was reported to have said, An Salama radhiyallahu anha zawjin Nabi Sallallahu anin Nabi Sallallahu qala yakunu ikhtilafan in the mawt khalifatan wa yakhruju rajulun min al Madinah hariban ila Makkah. Especially Hazrat Ali radhiyallahu anhu was referred to here. Qala Ali radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu wa nazara ila ibnihi al-Hasan. Hazrat Haidar Karrar was reported to have indicated towards Hazrat Imam Hasan and said, in nabni haza sayyidun, this son is a very chief person, very prominent person, leader type, sayyid. وَسَيَخْرُجُ مِنْ صُلْبِهِ رَجُلٌ. A person will come out from his back, means from his offspring there would be a person. يُسَمَّى بِإِسْمِ نَبِيِّكُمْ. He would be named after the name of Muhammad Mustafa alayhi salatu wasalam. وَلَا يُشْبِهُ فِي الْخَلْقِ وَيُشْبِهُ فِي الْخُلُقِ. That person will be very similar to Muhammad Mustafa alayhi salatu wasalam, not in feature, not in appearance, but in morals, in practice, in behavior. But superficially, he would be a different person, but from the family of Sayyida Fatima, and especially from the offspring of Imam Hasan. Then Nabi Kareem Sallallahu was reported to have said, Hazrat Sayyida Salama radhiyallahu anha says, يكون اختلاف عند موت خليفة فيخرج رجل من آل البيت هاربا إلى مكة فيأتيه ناس من آل مكة فيخرجونه وهو قارن فيبايعونه بين الركن والمقام. This is my family language. I have been learning, teaching for more than 45 years. Alhamdulillah. يكون اختلاف in the موت خليفة. This is a very complicated matter, that there are two reasons for indeclination. अदम इंसराफ, गैर मुनसरिफ होने की वजूह. There are two sources of indeclination. Ta zaida khalifatun isme sifat. When two sources are found here, every declensive becomes indeclensive. But why it was not indeclensive? This is the reason. Many people like to confront me. They are getting ready every now and then, but when the time comes, they surrender. فَيَخْرُجُ رَجُلٌ مِنْ آلِ الْمَدِينَةِ حَارِبًا إِلَى مَكَّةَ فَيَأْتِيهِ نَاسٌ. He will come out from Medina Tayyibah because there would be death of the chief of the state, and he would be more likely to be chosen by the people as a chief of the country, chief of the state. Therefore he tries to slip away because he would not be interested in the sovereignty of the power. He would not liking to be sovereign of the country. Therefore he will try to run away. He comes to Makkah Sharif and he disappeared somewhere. But the people identify him they will see that this person is a very noble person, he looks to be very nice, he is very attractive, he is more likely to be member of the family of the Prophet. Therefore we should try and find out and identify this person. When they come, they get in touch with him, they try to find out, everybody would be knowing him, that he is the family member of the Holy Prophet. And most of the people would be aware of his name, his lineage, his whereabouts, and he would be completely identified as Imam Mehdi Akhirul Zaman. Now we would like to ask Mirza Qadiani, "Oh Mirza Qadiani, why are you trying to assume the form of Imam Mehdi Akhirul Zaman? He must be born in Medina Tayyibah, and at the time of death he should run away from Medina Tayyibah. And unfortunately you never have been in Medina Tayyibah, nor in Makkah Sharif. You are a very unlucky person not to go there for whole of the life." And then Hazrat Imam Mehdi Akhirul Zaman would be identified, and the people perform the bath with him. And as soon as he came to be known, the people of Syria, the legacy of Yazid, they will rise. They will send a party, an army, to fight against him without any context. Do you realize? No one else, no army will come from India, from Turkey, from Egypt, from Yemen. Only an opposite army will come from Syria. And according to Hazrat Imam Shah Abdul Haq Sahib Muhaddis Delvi, this is the book of Shah Abdul Haq Muhaddis Delvi, he says that person would be with the name of Sufyani, from the lineage of Khalid bin Yazid, the eldest son of Yazid. His name is Khalid, and he would be from the offspring of that Khalid. And he will send the army, and there would be a white spot in his eye, and there would be smallpox, the sign of smallpox on his face. It means that the enemy of Ali Bayt Rasul Sallallahu are always very ugly person. And he would send an army. When they go to Mecca Sharif, there is a place where it's called Baida. They would sink down in the ground. Only one person would be left. He would come back and tell them, "Oh, people, try to bend your ways, to give up the way, to change your methodology, because that person is very miraculous. That is very spiritual person, because when our army went there, they were sank down. Then he would not learn the lesson. He would prepare himself for the fight. Then Imam Mehdi Akhirul Zaman says, even if I am a mystic person, but I am not a coward person. I have got the blood of Hazrat Ali in my vein. I am not a coward person. I shall fight you. From here, he will start his journey. If anybody likes to check, the references can check. Hazrat Imam Jadul Suyuti Rahmatullah Ta'ala says that Sufyani would be getting ready. All of a sudden, Hazrat Imam Mehdi Akhirul Zaman will reach there. He said, "You are trying to fight with me?" Fighting was a formula which was started by my forefather. My father was Hazrat Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He was a torch bearer, flag bearer of Muhammad Mustafa alayhi salam in whole of the life. Here, he says, Hazrat Imam Jadul Suyuti Rahmatullah alayhi, under the verse of 51 and Surah number 34, Surah Sabah, he says that, and page number 740, he says that Hazrat Imam Mehdi Akhirul Zaman will go there and fight against him and murder him, And then at that very day, the daughter of that very family would be sold on the steps of the mosque of Damascus. Mean the family who had arrested and tried their best to enslave the family of the Holy Prophet, they would be sold on the steps of that very mosque where they staged their drama and they tried to dishonor the family of the Holy Prophet. It means, this is the retaliation taken against them, and they were badly crushed. Yeah, this is the Ad-Durrul Mansur by Hazrat Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti, and this is Ashatul Ulama Sharh Mishkat. Means that would be Sufyani, and I told you the appearance and the complex of that person. That he would be very ugly person, and he would be getting ready when all of a sudden Hazrat Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman will reach there. And there Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wasalam will come down and they will identify each other. And Hazrat Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman would be going to lead the people in the prayer, and he will suggest imamat to Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. He would say, "This is not my right. I think you are a member of the family of the Holy Prophet and you are a member of the best community. Therefore, I don't want to lead you in the prayer. Leading the people in the prayer is your exclusive right." Now it is being tried that all of the family of the Prophet should be left behind. And they are not ready to follow Ali Bayt Rasul in the prayer. But look, Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wasalam says that I am not going to lead you in the prayer. Leading the people in the prayer is your right. Then Hazrat Imam Mehdi Akhir Zaman will lead the people in the prayer. And then Nabi Kareem was reported, that was mentioned in Mustadrak Sharif. He says that when Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wasalam yusafiru hajjan or mu'tamiran or biniyatihima fa yazuru qabri fa yusallimu alayya fa arudduhu, he will come with the intention of the pilgrimage or umrah and will come to my shrine and will say salam. Here you should check. We go to umrah or hajj and then we go to the shrine of the Prophet, but you mostly have had the sermons in Makkah Sharif that the Maulana says that you should not go in Medina Tayyibah with the intention of the shrine of the Holy Prophet, but you should travel with the intention of mosque of the Holy Prophet. What a bad idea. They are believing in the mosque and they are refusing in the founder of mosque. But here Hadith Rasul Pak says that Hazrat Jesus will come. What is this ideology? This ideology of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. It means that he will be compatible with Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. He will carry the same ideology as the Sunni carries. Now time has passed. Otherwise, I had many references. Inshallah, in the next time, inshallah, we shall discuss further. وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Nabi Kareem was sure that there would be a negligence by Ummah in connection in the family of the Prophet. First of all, the Muslim is duty bound to know the definition of bid'ah.